How do you use AI to reinvent storytelling in a way that's never been done before? And how do you convince a major client to take the leap with you with no playbook and no proven results? And how do you get an entire organization of thousands of people across sales, copywriting and product to understand, buy in and actually learn to work in a completely new way? Today's guest is Yvonne Beister, director at Axel Springer Brand Studios, one of Europe's largest media houses and the driving force behind an AI storytelling format that is bound to make us think differently about how to tell successful stories with AI at the center of it all. Now let's roll. Welcome to the Branded Content That Works podcast. Today, we're delighted to be speaking with Yvonne Beister, and she's the director at Axel Springer Brand Studios. Yvonne led the content and strategy unit of one of Europe's most influential media houses. And she's developed more than 1,000 cross-media campaigns for top German brands in the past 6 or 7 years or so. You can explain a bit more about that in a second, Yvonne. Before your current role, you headed up the entertainment section at Germany's largest news brand, and you ran Axel Springer's Los Angeles agency. And I think I owe it to our listeners today to let them know that you and I kind of go back a bit. I think it was back in 2016 or 17. I invited you to come speak at one of our first conferences, the very first one that we hosted in Berlin. And luckily you accepted, and you've basically been joining all our conferences ever since, together with your entire team. And I'm proud to say that the team at Axel Springer is one of our nearest and dearest and biggest advocates of the Institute. So for that, we're very grateful. But I'm most grateful for having you join me today, Yvonne. And I think before we do anything else, I will let you make a brief introduction to yourself as well, just to make sure that I haven't missed anything.
Okay, thank you for this lovely introduction. So nothing to add. But I say, hi, I'm Yvonne. I'm responsible for strategy and content at the Axel Springer Brand Studios. And we are the creative powerhouse of the whole Axel Springer group. So we are working across all media brands at the group. So it's including Bild and Welt and Business Insider and many, many more. And with our portfolio, we have over 20 media brands and we reach 52 million people across all channels. That's a huge amount of people. So we nearly reach every German person. And I would say this is our unique strength. Across media community, this is engaging with our trustworthy brands and content and everywhere, whether it's on TV or digital platforms or podcasts or print or social media. Our brand is there where our audiences are.
And that is quite a big portfolio. You're one busy woman.
Yeah, and it's still so much fun, especially in those times right now.
I could imagine. All right, so before we dive into the campaign that you brought today, we have a little quiz moment. So, okay.
Yvonne, I'm afraid. No.
Give me a question and I'll see if I, for once, can answer it.
Okay, so you know barely everything about me. So you know we carried with a team the Branded Content, your award. But what do you think? Did I ever carry the award, an Oscar, and for whom?
Okay, so you carried an award for someone. And given my past in the music industry, I can also say that I've carried quite a few awards. I even carried a few awards from people in our industry. And typically it's people that know in advance that they're going to be partying or celebrating quite hard, so they might not be held responsible for what happens to the statuette, or it's someone fairly young. And in this case, I also hope that it might be someone quite handsome.
Yeah,
I could see a handsome human being handing you the award saying, you can be responsible for this while I do other stuff. Okay. I think my best guess would be
Ta-da.
Brad Pitt.
Oh, I wish, but it's even better than Brad Pitt. So
Who can be better than Brad Pitt?
yeah, okay. So it was Leonardo DiCaprio. I once carried Leonardo DiCaprio's first Golden Globe. So before my career in marketing, I worked as a journalist and managed the entertainment department at Bild. And I spent a lot of time, of course, in Hollywood. And in 2015, the Golden Globes, Leonardo DiCaprio received it for the movie The Revenant. Hope you remember it. And after, and after this, he got the Oscar for this. His first Oscar he was waiting for forever. And he took me along the evening to every interview, to every party. And by the end, I had even to look after his award because he was really drunken and he handed it over. And I was there standing with the award like, okay, that's pretty cool. Thanks for that. So it was, a great experience, especially for a reporter to getting close to this kind or to the star and at least ending up with his award in your own hands. Yeah.
That's an amazing anecdote too. Yeah. And a two hands kind of job, right?
Yes.
Do not drop.
Do not drop and behave. Yeah.
All right. I also asked you to consider sharing a small personal anecdote with us so that our audience out there could understand a little bit more about who Yvonne is when she's not Miss Fabulous on Axel Springer.
Okay. So, but it's a kind of business anecdote. So we founded the brand studios, I would say really late in 2016, 2017. And then we got an invitation from the OMR. So it's the biggest marketing festival here in Germany, a big conference with speakers like Barack Obama and Serena Williams. So really, really huge. And they asked us to get on the stage and to talk on stage. And I stood in the hall and it was really a massive hall where 10,000 people could sit. And I suddenly panicked and I asked myself why so many people want to hear what we at the Axel Springer Brand Studios really do. So branded content and native advertising was really new at this times. And then the next day, the hall was really picked to the last seat. And it was such an incredible feeling, best feeling I had in my business career to stand in front of all those people and telling something about native campaign. And everybody was really excited about it. And yeah, since then, we've executed thousands of great campaigns for, I would say, virtually every major German brand. So from Aldi to Zalando. And we work for everyone. And in this situation on stage, I realized, okay, we are onto something. This is such a huge topic in Germany when 1,000 people come and listen about these kind of advertisement. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree because you just said 2016, and it's about the same time. I think it was a year before that we launched the institute.
Started, right? Yeah.
And I remember how when we first set out to do the first conference, how we initially had to reach out to people to get them to attend and start by letting them know what native advertising and branded content was.
Really?
Like basically defining it and them trying to sell them a ticket to the conference. But it was nice to see that once we moved to Berlin and to the German market, that it seemed that the concept had already landed. It was coined, and that both publishers and advertisers kind of understood what it was all about. And I could only imagine that a stage like the OMR, that was a pretty sweet lead gen tactic as well for you and the team. I bet you would get a few approaches after for people wanting to hear more about what you do.
Yeah, we had such rock star feeling in that moment. It was amazing. So we keep these pictures in mind. So, and we realized, okay, we are onto something for this, for our company.
And do you think it's still like that though? Almost 10 years later?
Yeah, the market is transforming right now. So everything or everybody has the eyes on AI business, so artificial intelligence, and we are transforming as a company right now. So it's the most interesting time right now. Another transformation. Yeah.
Another story. But I think for today's topic, I would love to dive more into that. But to keep on the topic today,
Yeah.
and this is because this is specifically about branded content that works. I asked you to pick out of the 1,000 campaigns that you've already done. I asked you to pick, if not your favorite, that one of the campaigns that you feel really, really good about to tell us about today.
Like I mentioned, together with Samsung, we invited a totally new form of storytelling. It's called, of course, the AI story. And it's transforming storytelling in a really new way. Because instead of visiting a news website and reading a story, you're doing it linearly, right? So you click on the page and you are reading a story from the top to the bottom. And users now can ask questions like with ChatGPT, and they receive personalized answers. So it's a really true innovation in storytelling for news business. And we did this because communication is evolving, like I mentioned before, at a lightning speed. So fewer and fewer people use Google. Here in Germany, it's nearly around 18%. They are already engaging with GPT models.
That's
and
a
so
lot.
storytelling is transforming here in Germany. And we try to keeping a pace with this kind of shift. And we are the first publisher or the first publishing house offer these kind of interactions tools or interactive storytelling with our audience. Yeah. And we realized maybe like the moment on stage before, it's getting huge.
But let's rewind just a little bit, because you started by saying this is something that you initially did with Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
And who is Samsung as a client? And when they came to you, what was the challenge or the main goal that they were looking for you to help them solve?
Yeah. So Samsung is a tech client and they really have high standards for innovation. Not only when it comes to their products, they also want those products when they are presenting. And the AI story was the only vehicle for them to showcase storytelling in a total new way, in a way that's innovative, in a way that's fresh, in a way that's really modern. And that's the reason why they bought the campaign. They don't get stuck with any other products, but they were only interested in these kind of innovative storytelling products because they are a tech company. They always want something new. And
they need to be at the forefront.
Yes, we only could convince them with these kind of innovative products. Yeah.
So Samsung was potentially also one of the first clients that you tested this new format with on your platforms. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. And I can imagine that being quite important to Axel Springer Brand Studios as well, because that kind of puts you on the forefront on testing newer formats, right?
Yes. And when it's come to innovation, it's real important that you have a real client and that you have real numbers and that you have a chance to see if a campaign is really working. And with Samsung, we see, so it was a risk for us and a little bit for Samsung to say, okay, let's try this. We believe in this kind of new storytelling, and it worked. So Samsung immediately rebooked the campaign. So they booked it now twice. And now other clients are standing in line or lining up to be a part of this new way of storytelling. So we invented, with the help of a client, a new storytelling format, and it worked, luckily, for us and the client. And now we have a new product and the market is crazy about it.
That's a bold move.
Yeah. You have to take some risks. You have to take some risks now. Yeah.
Yeah, but, you are premier risk taker that I know in the space, I'd say. But it's a bold move for sure. In terms of the pitch that was tied into this campaign, you said that Samsung approached you, or did you approach Samsung and tell them that you wanted to test it out? How did that come about?
Yeah, so Samsung is highly driven by innovation, and we knew they needed to create something new. It's our only chance to get this client and to convince him with those kind of innovative products.
Yeah. So it was you going to them saying, we have this new idea, and
we have this new idea, and they said, okay, let's do it. And they take a risk as well, but they believed in these kind of storytelling. So like us, and so you need a client that's innovative and modern, and
But besides from the storytelling and a potentially bold client, I'm assuming that you had data and, you have benchmarks of some kind that you could kind of use to support the claim to Samsung that this would work. Or did they just buy in?
No, so we had some hypotheses about this kind of product, but we've never tested it with a client before, because since this type of storytelling is completely different. So it's not linear, it's interactive, and it's fully personalized. So we built a prototype for the client and presented it during the pitch, and then they get a glimpse and they understand, okay, this kind of storytelling is exactly what we want to do. So we invented the whole product, we presented it, and then the client accepted and realized, okay, that's the way we want to go with you.
So let's talk a little bit about the collaboration with your client, because obviously a very important part of creating campaign is kind of the chemistry and the ongoing collaboration. When you create a campaign, how was working together with Samsung and your team on this campaign?
That's a really good question, because it was quite a challenge at first, because we had to train the entire team on the new product. So our authors and editors, they became prompt engineers. And we had involved IT, product development, and content. We have to put it all together, supporting one another and every step by step. So it was an uncharted territory nearly for all of us, for the client and for the whole team. But this is why it is so special, and everybody was on fire and everybody was going an extra mile. Maybe
so no objections, no gray eminences saying this is not for us. Everybody was in on the project from the get-go.
Because it was it's so innovative, and when it comes to innovation, you can you have this fire in all of the team, because everybody is so excited about this, and everybody wants to see a great success, and and there is no right or wrong. So it was a development step by step, and everybody was going the same step at the same time. So it was so exciting.
But I could also imagine a campaign like this where you don't really have a playbook. You burnt the playbook and now you're reinventing a new playbook.
Yeah.
That you also risk having too many chefs in the kitchen, right? So how did you align, internal stakeholders and the client, and making sure that everybody wasn't running off in their own directions? Alignment would be key here in such a complex project, right?
Yeah, that's true. So our first step was to get really everyone in our publishing house on board. That's
a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. So we created special sales materials for our sales department. We create FAQs for every sales member. And we ran a road show through all our sales offices. And we are explaining and demonstrating the product to every key account manager. And we showcased it at trade fairs. We showcased the new product at any internal meetings across the whole company. And I would say, and it takes us nearly half a year, but I would say by now everyone at Axel Springer knows and loves the AI story.
But I could also imagine that it's not only a bold, but also a really good move to start out big.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine Samsung it's a big brand, and it's a
Yes.
good household brand to gain success with in a campaign like this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Was the client hands-on at any point where with this, or were you given full creative freedom both to invent or develop the AI campaign, or?
Yeah, that was a good part because the client comes from the tech business and they understood the product immediately because they are coming from an innovation space. So naturally we had a few feedback rounds as usual, but overall they trusted our creative lead. And this was a good thing. So it's a really innovative, modern, fast working client. So
you enjoyed quite a lot of freedom in the development of it. Oh, that's
it's not
nice.
always like that. You know that it's not always like that. Yeah.
And what about like the big idea here, or the creative hook?
Yeah.
I kind of sense it's about innovation. It's about reinventing, as I said before, burning the playbook, trying something new.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we reinvent storytelling. So we don't tell a story right now linearly. We are telling it individually. And the big question was, will our readers embrace it? And will they love it? Or do they reject it, the new storytelling? Do they understand it? So it was a risk for us and for the client. But without taking a risk, you never become innovative and you never be a market leader. You have to take this risk now to become successful.
And just to both for me to better understand, but also for our listeners to better understand, can you take me through the user or the reader experience in this new format? Like you're saying it's no longer linear. I would love for you to kind of expand on what that means. Like, what is it that the reader or the user gets to experience when they encounter this type of campaign with you?
So they are coming they're coming from the headline of our news website to a total new experience. So when they click into the article, it's like a question and answering that goes back and forward. So in the case of Samsung, it was about sleeping disorders. And the first question is, how do you sleep? And then the reader has a chance to answer every question personally. And based on his answer, another question is developing by the AI system. So it's like a really great gamification with question and answers that goes back and forward. And at the end is the point where the clients come in. At the end is, okay, I've understand. So the AI tool is telling totally individually, I understand you're only sleeping 6 hours, for example. You are sleeping at 7 o'clock. Maybe you need this kind of product to get some sleep improvement. And then the product is popping up in this kind of AI tool. And this is what our readers really love because it's interactive and it's a gamificated tool and it increases the conversion rates to the client side immensely. So I guess on this campaign, we had 13% of the people who were clicking the AI story, they are transforming or clicked onto the client's page. So it has such a great impact. We never thought about it when we created this kind of product. So it's like, okay, we had this hypothesis, hopefully it will work. But these KPIs, these are numbers, every marketing guy is dreaming about it, right?
For sure.
Have you ever heard about an engagement rate that is more than 10%?
No, that's huge. And also, like, I'm sitting here thinking, it kind of seems like what you've managed to create could potentially both work as a really good awareness campaign, but the mix of instant also offering conversions, that's quite unique too, right?
Yes.
How long, like, again, it's a question answer format that you created. Can the reader and user keep answering or asking questions in the indefinite, or is there kind of a max to the experience?
So we saw in the first campaigns that they are answering 6 to 7 questions, and they are getting to the link out of the client. But if the client wants, we can create it totally individually. We can create it to unlimited question and answers. But we see after 7 or 8 questions, the reader is like happy and satisfied, and yeah.
What is the dwell time on a campaign like that?
So it's like so the first campaign showed it's to nearly 3 minutes. So it was the average dwell time. So it's really good. So we see that the readers are really interested in this kind of content. They have a good time when they are answering this kind of questions, and they really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Do I dare to ask you, Yvonne, do you guys measure purchase intent as well in
Yes,
campaigns like this?
Yeah, I totally forgot it. That's not all. So we have a big mark research campaign, and we see that the purchase intent rise by 32%, and 20% of users even said they wanted to buy the product immediately. So it was crazy. These numbers were crazy. Even our market research team said, okay, so we have to check it if everything was okay, because these numbers are amazing. But when it comes to gamification, readers love it, and purchase intent is increasing.
Yeah, and I can imagine that this could both be used as kind of a premium branded content campaign with a mix of awareness and maybe mid-funnel and conversion. So for all, basically for all stages in the buyer journey.
Yeah.
But I could also see it work quite well with custom content, right? Like if we're talking about instant purchased content formats, it would work quite well there as well. It's really something.
Yeah. And we asked our readers if they loved it, and 71% said they really enjoyed the interactive storytelling experience. So
that's nice.
So you see, I'm still excited about it.
Yeah. But it's the AIification of those books that we had when we were small, where you got the option of, if you want to do this, jump to page this. And if you want to do that, jump to page that. And depending on your choice, the story kind of unfolded in new ways. And you would even be able to get a new experience if you go back, say in a few months' time. And in this case, your sleeping rhythm or ways of sleeping had changed, then you would get a different experience, right?
Yes.
And I could imagine that the gamification element of this also makes it possible to do so many different concepts, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's you have unlimited content right now, because AI is creating the content by the answers of the readers.
Do you because you also said before that you spent a long time teaching the element, like making sure that what you put in, the output became really, really good. But creating this campaign, were there ongoing testing, because, AI sometimes hallucinate. AI sometimes does things that is not really what we intended to do. Where is the human element in a campaign or a product like this when it's launched? Are you still coming back to look into the output, or is there people that has the responsibility of overlooking the campaign and the answers? Or how are you operating in the new space with products like this?
So we have a great development team, and they make sure that the AI is not hallucinating. And that's one of the biggest myths right now, because the new AI models, they are trained and they don't hallucinate. And we make sure for our clients, so we are training our AI model that they don't hallucinate. Our clients can 100% be sure that there's no hallucination. Our AI bot is only giving answers that are CI conform, and that answers are 100% brand safe. It's the most important thing, and it was one of the most important questions from our clients. How can we be safe in this AI environment? And it was our development team we found a solution. So we are training the model, and the model right now is answering like the CEO of the company, right? So, because it's trained so well. Yeah.
So interesting. Well, I can't wait to follow your ongoing work with this. I dare to say this is one of the first really, really successful products that I've heard of in the AI space. And I'm sure we could be talking for hours about this, but I think we need to wrap it up today and then maybe do an episode 2 at a later stage. But before I let you go, we have 2 more things on the agenda. We have a shout out, and this is where you can either brag about something you've done yourself, or you could shout out something that you find very successful that you potentially wish you had done.
Okay, so a big shout out. So I love campaigns, of course, that are bold and that are provocative. And I would love to mention Sixt. It's a car rental, because they do it brilliantly. They're using current political context or public figures to spark attention and deliver brand message with humor and an edge. And their campaigns spread virally like a wildfire. And I really, really love these kind of campaigns.
I'm going to make sure to make an appendix in the show notes so people can go in and see, because you actually provided me with a little bit of assets so we could look at.
Yeah.
And finally, Yvonne, this might be the most important question for today, at least for me. If you and I were to meet for a good old karaoke showdown with our palette shirts and our glamorous outfits that we're always wearing whenever we meet each other, what would your go-to song be?
Oh, yeah, we should go to a karaoke bar. And if we go there, my go-to song would probably a song by Queen, of course. And it's called Don't Stop Me Now, 'cause we are having a good time, having a good time.
I should have guessed that, Yvonne. I mean, if this had been an episode of Ally McBeal, that would be the song that would follow you when you came on set, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And I selfishly hope to see you very soon.
Yes, at the karaoke.
We have it, but until then, make sure to rock the German industry the way you always rock the German industry. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
That's it for today's episode. If you like what you've heard, please take a quick second to hit that like and subscribe button. Leaving a review or sharing this episode with a colleague helps us keep bringing you the behind-the-scenes stories of the world's absolute best branded content. Now, if today's conversation got you thinking about your own strategy and you're curious about how to get involved with the absolute best community in our industry, you need to check out the Native Advertising Institute. Becoming an NAI member gives you access to a global network of elite storytellers, cutting-edge case studies, and unbeatable insights. Head over to nativeadvertisinginstitute.com to find out how to join us. I'm Stila Holmgaard. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.